गाइस हम सब ने एक चीज़ को एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा। जब हम डॉक्टर के पास विजिट करते हैं, डॉक्टर हमें प्रिस्क्रिप्शन देता है और वो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लेके हम किसी फार्मेसी मेडिकल शॉप में जाते हैं। मेडिकल शॉप वाला हमें कहता है कि भाई ये मेडिसिन नहीं है, इसके बदले में दूसरी मेडिसिन है। फिर वो हमें कन्विंस करता है कि ये जो मेडिसिन है उसका फॉर्मूला सेम है। मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव एक्सपीरियंस दिस सिचुएशन। और फिर हम उस वक्त कन्फ्यूज़ हो जाते हैं कि ये मेडिसिन लेना है या नहीं लेना है, क्योंकि हमारा डॉक्टर के ऊपर ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बहुत ज़्यादा होता है। आज की इस वीडियो में हम यही बात करने वाले हैं कि ये जो सब्स्टिट्यूट आपको दिया जाता है ये कौन सी ड्रग है। दिस वीडियो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी व्हाट आर जेनरिक ड्रग्स, व्हाई जेनरिक ड्रग्स कॉस्ट लेस, आर जेनरिक ड्रग्स सेफ, इज ANDA and generic drugs are same, what is career in generic drug after your B.Pharm or M.Pharm, what is bio-equivalence, last but not least is what is pharmaceutical equivalent. सो जेनरिक ड्रग को समझने के लिए हमें 3 टर्म्स को समझना पड़ेगा। वन इज IND, second is NDA, and third is ANDA. Let's deep dive into these 3 terminology to understand more details about this. So what is investigational new drug? USFDA says an investigational new drug, that is IND, is a drug or a biological drug that has not been approved by general use by FDA. It means this is under clinical trial to investigate its safety and efficacy. The second term is new drug application. ये जो IND है जिसका क्लिनिकल ट्रायल चल रहा है, if it shows a promising result with respect to safety and efficacy, if sponsor files this application to USFDA for evaluation, then it is called as new drug application. So it says NDA application is a vehicle through which a drug sponsor formally propose that the FDA approve a new pharmaceuticals or new medicine for sale and marketing in US. Now, what is abbreviated new drug application? That is ANDA. It is also called as generics. These are a generic drug in a medication created to be the same as already marketed branded name. Now, let us study 4 generic drug facts which is given by USFDA. Number 1, generic medicines are same high quality as their branded name version. Why? Because generic drug go through a rigorous review process to receive FDA approval, and therefore FDA ensures that the generic medication provide the same clinical benefit as safe and effective as the branded name medicine, that is duplicates. Number 2 fact is generic and branded name medicine have the same active ingredient. They show similar effectiveness. They both are high quality, safety, strength and benefit. Third fact is, but they can look different because there is a allowable difference in terms of size, shape, color, which do not impact the medication work. The fourth fact is they can cost less money. Why? Because there is no repetition of animal and clinical human studies that is required for the generic drug. Only a bioequivalence study that need to be conducted and submitted to USFDA. So in general, if you compare generic versus branded, there is a 85% less price for the generic drug. So these generic drugs should be bioequivalent to reference drug. Now to prove it is bioequivalent, the pharma company has to match 2 things. Number 1, your generic drug should be pharmaceutical equivalent and it should be bioequivalence. What does this mean? So pharmaceutical equivalent means it uses the same API, dosage form, dose, route of administration and labelings, and their dissolution, disintegration parameter should be very similar to that of your branded drug. Second parameter is bioequivalence, where your pharmacokinetic profile like Cmax, Tmax and area under curve has to be proved using a bioequivalence study. 90% confidence interval for these peaky parameters of generic to reference drug ratio should fall within 80 to 125%. And if this proves through studies, this means these bioequivalence study ensures that the rate and extent of absorption of the generic drug is similar to that of reference drug. अब ये आप एक एग्जाम्पल देख रहे हैं ग्राफ का। द फर्स्ट पिक ग्राफ इज ऑफ इनोवेटर ड्रग, मतलब ये ब्रांडेड ड्रग है. सेकंड जेनरिक ड्रग है विच इज अंडर इन्वेस्टिगेशन फॉर बायो इक्विवेलेंस. यू कैन सी द जेनरिक ड्रग ग्राफ superimpose with innovator drug with slightly difference. That is the range, the ratio is given between 80 to 125%. और तो जेनरिक ड्रग 1 है ये इनोवेटर ड्रग से काफी कम है. You can see by the graph. Therefore, generic drug 1 is not bio-equivalent. मतलब इसका rate and extent of absorption is not similar to innovator drug. But the generic drug 2, which is bio-equivalent to the innovator drug, its rates and absorption is similar to that of the innovator drug. Now let us try to understand what is the relation between a generic drug and the patent, because a generic drug, that is ANDA, are produced only when the patent are expired. Since you have an idea now what is IND, NDA and ANDA, we will try to study this concept under the same thing. Now imagine there is a pharma company that develops a new medicine for unmet medical needs. And they spend close to 1.3 to 1.6 billion USD, and it takes 8 to 10 years for the clinical development. When this pharma company see there is a promising candidate, company files a patent which is valid for 20 years. And if you see that success rate, 1 in 1000 molecule that is under investigation, a new drug, get to a market. Now this entire process is nothing but it is an IND. Now in the clinical development, which take 8 to 10 years, when pharma company finds that the results are promising with respect to safety and efficacy, pharma company files NDA application, that is a new drug applications. And after they submit all the data to the USFDA, there is an inspection that happens and everything is okay. Then FDA approves your drug. It means now you can market the drug in the US. Now, if say for example, if 12 years was spent in the clinical development and the patent expiry is of 20 years, rest of 8 years are exclusive rights for that pharma company to market the drug globally. So once patent is expired, the other pharma companies start preparation of generics. They need not have to run the entire clinical trial now. They have to just prove two things. One is a pharmaceutical equivalent and bioequivalent for this generic. So the bioequivalence is conducted on the healthy human subjects. Blood samples are taken in a defined timelines. Blood samples are analyzed for the analyte and the PK parameters are estimated. And PK parameters for Cmax, Tmax and an area under curve are proved statistically that has to fall within the ratio of 80 to 125. If this is done, then your drug is bioequivalent. Now, this is nothing but ANDA. So there is a huge relation between a generic drug and the patent. When patent expire, that is the time when your generic drugs are brought into the market. Now let us take one example of ciprofloxacin, a very known example, to understand what we have discussed so far. So what happened in 1980, ciprofloxacin was discovered by Bayer, that's a German-based company, and they have patented this as an IND. They went for different clinical development. In 1987, they filed a new drug application with USFDA as a first oral broad spectrum antibiotic. So this was NDA. In 2004, patent expired. And after 2004, what happened? There are many companies which started producing generic drugs of ciprofloxacin. So this was ANDA. I hope with this example, this is clear how generics are developed. So how big is the generic drug market size today? So in 2023, US generic market size was 133.44 billion USD. And this is expected to reach around 189.77 billion USD by 2033. If you see US, 91% of the prescription in the US are filled as a generic drug, where there are more than 32,000 generic drugs approved by USFDA as of today. When you take India as an example, in India, generic drug market is approximately of 25 billion USD till 2022, and with a compound annual growth rate of 6.97% it is growing. So India is one of the world's largest maker and exporter of the generic drug. अब इतनी बड़ी industry है, required a human power to support this. So there is ample of jobs after B.Pharm, M.Pharm for generic drug industry. You can work in the formulation department, clinical department, regulatory and marketing. And as a B.Pharm and M.Pharm, this is the easiest entry you have in the drugs. I myself have started working with SciTech labs in the clinical department. And after 2 to 3 years of experience, if you wish to change it, definitely you can take a different route of doing a full clinical research. If you're interested in clinical data management, regulatory PV, those areas also you can make a easily switch. You will be paid around 3 to 4 lakhs per annum as a salary. The companies that you should target, almost all pharma company which are producing the generic drug will produce this job. More specifics with respect to clinical bio-equivalence will be Cytex Lab Private Limited, that is a sister concern for Cipla. You have a Macloids, you have Qtest, Anazil, Alembic Research Center, BioClinic, Landmark, Jubilant, and Lambda Therapeutics area. So there are ample of opportunities for B.Pharm and M.Pharm considering the market we have generics in India. So guys, आपको उम्मीद है ये समझ में आ गया होगा कि जेनरिक ड्रग क्या है, IND क्या है, NDA क्या है और ANDA क्या है. और अगर आप B.Pharm, M.Pharm हैं और इस एरिया में जॉब करना चाहते हैं, आई होप दिस वीडियो वॉज वेरी इन्फॉर्मेटिव फॉर यू. इफ़ येस तो यार प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए. अगर आपको कंटेंट अच्छा लगा हो तो लाइक कर दीजिए और डेफिनेटली शेयर विथ योर फ्रेंड्स. एवरीबडी गेट बेनिफिटेड. Thank you so much for watching this video and stay connected with PharmBuddy for more such video.